Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad. And on today's podcast, Evan's going to talk about overspending on something he doesn't even really know how to do.
And Kevin's record as a baseball coach falls to 1-1. More details on the show.
I think it's 0-2. Cheers.
Cheers.
We haven't done this in a while. We haven't shouted out a
We used
brew.
to try a beer and then talk about it, but it was like, I don't know why. Who cares? Let's just drink.
We're
water.
such a lazy
It's
dad.
just lazy.
We're such lazy dads because it used to be we'd try different beers, and then just like our Thursday lives, I'm blowing up our spot right now. We would just like default to old fashions every week.
Yeah. It was like we're gonna
And we
we're
just
gonna try a new
defaulted to like
cocktail.
space dust.
Come join us.
It
Yeah.
was either Stone or Space Dust.
Stoner
every
Space
week.
does every week, and it's like, we're just gonna make an old fashioned. You have questions? Please come talk to us.
But we're having
But
a
it's too
beer.
confusing. Kind of. We're having a beer.
It
We're
is
trying
a beer. It's a unleaded Regal brew.
Ted Seeger's, non-alcoholic beer. This is Dax Shepard's company.
Yeah.
I don't know. We saw him like advertise this on social media, and the advertising is so funny that we wanted to try it.
I know what you guys are thinking. What are you doing promoting Dax Shepard's beer? He's definitely one of your competitors for podcasting.
He's
You know,
totally
we're
so-
like neck and neck on listeners. We're both just like pulling subscribers from each other. I know, but
Yeah.
you know what? I don't want to say we're the bigger men, but
No, have you seen him? He's huge.
he's gigantic.
I would look
I don't
like-
like saying any of this.
I would look like a wet rag standing next to him.
I would look like him if like you let some of the air out.
I'm gonna
kind of
hold
a
on.
softer mattress.
Because some of these, I'm gonna read a couple of these off their website. The advertising, like the marketing, is what made us want to try it. It was so funny. Like they have quotes about their beer. Let me try to find a couple. God, I can't read that one.
Well, hold on. Let's just try this.
Okay, let's try it first.
Let's try it.
Cheers, dummy.
Cheers.
Yeah, it tastes like a cold one.
Yeah.
Like a Pilsner, kind of.
This is a great summer. This is a
It would be
great
really
summer
good at-
beer.
Yeah. It actually really would be good when you're like, it's noon and you're playing out in the backyard with the kids and you think like, a cold beer would be really nice right now.
Yeah, this is the way to go.
But I don't want to be falling asleep in an hour and a half.
Then this won't make you fall asleep. What's funny is we're talking a lot about baseball. I'm going to talk about it again in a little bit, but it'd be really inappropriate but funny if I cracked one of these during my kids' games. Like, can you put that away? It's not alcoholic.
Yeah.
So you're going to do that?
Yeah, so you're gonna be that guy right now? Yeah. Here's one. I used to drink to get drunk. Now I drink with my family in the car. Ted Seegers.
It's great.
So we've been talking about like we started a little bit of gardening. Don't really think, update. The squirrels have taken over. We're not even allowed back there anymore.
I know. We talked about it on the last podcast about your very adorable little picnic table.
Mm-hmm.
Objectively, though, it seems like a bad idea.
Correct. It's so ridiculous that it's like,
It's like, that's cute.
Well, I don't know.
but
Why
you-
not?
But you're like letting them know you have a place here, guys.
yeah, I know.
Which is the last thing I would want with squirrels.
I know. But maybe they'll appreciate what we're offering them.
Maybe they'll be respectful of the space.
No, and then protect us against,
Oh.
I don't know.
This is why I got to stop watching kids' movies. Yes, subscribing
team
morality to animals.
Yeah, they'll keep the perimeter.
Have you seen their teeth? They're monsters.
Oh, that. Speaking of protecting us, so we were at the hardware store, the gardening section, and we were looking for a couple things. But the kids are getting like these tiny little plants to put in these pots. My wife got them, and I'm standing out there in the back, and I see like you probably been to like hardware store or whatever in the gardening section. See like little fridges. Nah, I never look in there. Don't know what's in there. Just a little fridge, like a bait store. Like when you
I
go
just
to
assume that's the employees.
when you
the
buy
employees'
bait.
lunches.
you're buying worm crawlers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like other stuff in there. And I look and on top there's some cases in the fridge, and on top there's like little plastic cases, and it was like has a praying mantis on the case. And I was like, oh, those are cool. I've seen a few of them. Once in a while in our old garden, I would see a praying mantis, and be like, whoa, that's so cool looking.
Yeah.
It's an awesome looking insect. And it was like, in here is a praying mantis egg sack
Okay.
with 100 to 200 eggs in it.
No.
In the egg sack. And I was like, why would you, what? That seems scary. And I watched the little a read on the side, and it's like these will take over your garden and like eat aphids and like all the stuff, like all the little mites and everything that would be like a danger to your plants. They eat those, and they just kind of like camp out in your garden, and they don't mess with your plants or anything. Like they just like you release those into your garden, and you're like, all right.
Do you know what you can't do with that though?
What's that?
You can't, when you get home from the store from buying them,
Uh-huh.
have them be one of those bags that you just like put down in the corner and then forget about.
You're right. Let me get into this.
And then just
On the
it
thing-
hatches and there's just like you've got
Yeah.
praying mantis in your house.
Well, on the side, it's like, okay, you need to put this in like a tree, like branch, nook of a tree branch or something like that. When it gets warm outside, they only hatch like once a year. So when it gets warm outside, they eventually will hatch. And when they hatch into your yard, that's like now they don't like leave. This
Okay.
is like, they are like loyal to the soil, if you will.
Okay.
And so I'm reading about this, something like, I don't know, it seems like a pretty good idea.
Did
It's
you
like-
just make up that rhyme or
No, you've never heard that before?
loyal to the soil?
Loyal to the soil?
No.
Yeah, it's,
Is that a sports thing?
maybe.
Or is it a praying mantis thing?
I always thought it was kind of funny. Loyal to the soil, baby.
Just
I'm a Mariners fan. That's where I'm from. They're awful. Who cares?
what's the Mariners saying?
No. It's just like it's a saying.
Whose
So-
saying is it?
I don't know.
Answer
Go on the
the
internet.
question. No,
So-
podcasts are about speculating without any evidence.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
We're here to spout hard opinions, post them on the internet, and everybody's like, "You didn't look that up at all."
Engagement. And so I'm thinking about this. And now I'm thinking like, okay, that seems like a pretty cool idea. I watched this little video, and this guy's like, they're great to have in your yard. They even will kind of change color because they don't go hunting for bugs. They like just sit still. When a bug comes by, they grab it. That's how they do their thing.
That's how I prefer to eat.
And it's like they can grow up to like 5 to 6 inches. That made me a little nervous.
Sure.
But he was like, they're great companions. This guy, this whole video is like so educational. They, it's going to hatch. They're going to be little. They're going to be little. They're
What
gonna go in your
video?
garden.
You watched a video in the
It's like you
in the
scan the thing on the package, scan a QR code, and like takes you to their
Were you
website.
with your family?
My wife took him to the bathroom, so I'm just standing out there with
It's
a cart.
just dad. Oh, okay, guys.
Yeah.
Let's at least try to go to the bathroom. We're gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, so I'm watching this video thinking like, I don't think I'm gonna do this. And the guy's like, they're even great companions when out gardening, when you're working on your yard. You can pick one up and put it on your shoulder, and he'll just kind of sit there for a while. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be
Let's
putting
talk
a
about what
6-inch
I'm not
praying
doing.
mantis on my shoulder.
I'm
Like
definitely.
it's a parrot, and he's like, and then he's like, feed him a little bug. He'll be happy as a clam. I'm not.
Or is it praying
I'm not doing
mantis?
that, yeah. So meaning, I guess when he said that, I was like, oh, I guess they're not going to do anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the one thing that I was like, I couldn't get over that I read about them on the website. It's like, here's what's going to happen. By the way, the only ones that have wings are the females, and they only will grow the wings when they're ready to mate. So they'll fly, and they don't really fly. They just like fly a little bit here and there to look for a male. When they find the male of their choosing, now I did know this. They bite the head off and eat it,
Yeah.
which is like hell of a way to end a date night. You know what I'm saying?
Bite
the head off.
She's gonna bite my head off after this.
Yeah. Oh boy, I think I said something dumb.
How's the date going? She's gonna bite my head off. That good, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, congrats, buddy. So bites the head off of the male, eats it because the head contains nutrients it needs to lay the eggs.
I've never been accused of that.
She then will create this nest and lay the eggs in the nest. That's what we have, is this little thing. And lay the eggs inside of there, and then she goes and dies. It's like, what a wild
So you
existence.
just have 200 orphans
Yeah.
ready to launch.
Yeah. And they're born, they look like tiny little baby adults. They're not like larvae. They just really are kind of like tiny little praying mantids.
A baby adult's a
And-
baby.
Yeah. The one thing it says is like you can put them in a tree, or if you have rodents in your yard, which I do, I'm training them
We
to
all
be
do.
there, or birds, they could like try to get to the eggs. And so you could hang it from a tree limb on a string so that it's kind of safe floating there by itself until they're ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, when it gets warm enough in the season, they're going to hatch. And then he's like, or just keep them in this container and put them on like a windowsill
That seems like the smartest move.
in your house. Yeah.
In your house?
In your house.
Never mind. String.
I know. It is sealed, but it's like, but there are little holes, which is a little concerning. But he's like, here's the reason why you got to keep an eye on this.
They've
Which
got-
I thought he was going to say, like,
They've got
because
hand
you don't want
saws
them
for
all
arms.
over
They're
the-
just sitting there all night going Shawshank
He's like-
Redemption their way out.
He's
What
like-
if you open, there's a little like poster of what is it, Rita Wilson? Where are all the praying
Like
mantises?
Shawshank? I don't think it was. So anyway,
They release a little bit of pocket full of plastic every day.
he's like, what you really need to do is just put it in a windowsill where it gets some sun every day, but just keep an eye on it because once they hatch, they're gonna be hungry and they're just gonna start eating each other. It's like these things are gnarly.
They're metal.
They are
metal.
absolute metal. When they wake up with all their brothers and sisters, if they don't get out of that thing, they're just gonna start.
Oh wow,
well, I'm hungry.
They're gonna start eating each other. I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah.
Mom, bad behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
See, parents,
Here's why it's
your
important
behavior.
to-
Your kids are watching,
it's
even
learned
when they're
behavior.
not
That's right.
born yet. They're watching. Okay,
They're watching. You may
So-
not think they're watching. You flipping a glass on the way to the fridge.
Yeah.
They see it.
Listen, we're here to try to make you feel better, but come on, be better.
Isn't that wild? The more and more I read about them, I was like, from the perspective of like a family, it was like that is a wild existence.
Do you think that she goes off and dies because she feels terrible that she killed their father? I just want to, again, Evan just spilled his beer on
I
himself.
poured my tit seekers all over myself.
It's, again, a non-alcoholic beer.
Non-alcoholic,
and Evan looks wasted.
Anyway,
Brave Mantis, man. Wow.
yeah, man, I'm gonna try to ride one.
I made a tiny boxing ring and have them fight each other.
I'm really excited about it.
Here's my question to you that we didn't cover, since we're talking about gardening real
Sure.
quick. They're already eating. Do you have a plan in place? Because we did the same thing that you did when we bought our house. We set up a little garden. We built a raised garden.
Built 3 of them.
And
They're in place right now.
we got some radishes and half a carrot.
Yeah.
I've since gotten some artichokes. But yeah, like the bulbs just get ripped out, and
Yeah.
we haven't tried it again because like, what's the point?
Our
Are you
whole
do you have a
idea was
plan
like, yeah, we
to
got like
protect it.
got an area for tomatoes. We got corn coming. We got beets. We have
Do you have a
like
way to
peppers.
protect
Like
it from the animals though.
no.
Okay.
That being said, we have looked at like some of the covers that you can buy or whatever
Yeah,
because there are bulbs they were being taken when we first started this. We went to planting seedlings because the bulbs were just being taken. We also knew it was a little bit more about the doing something with our kids, having them help us do the whole
Sure.
thing together, and then
Watch
hoping something comes out of the ground. If it gets stolen or eaten or whatever, we weren't too concerned about. It's like, yeah, it'd be great if like we pluck some corn off and, barbecue it or have tomatoes on
We'll
our,
share one ear of corn.
yeah. That would be great. But if at the same time all we get is like, look, these things are growing. We planted them. Like it starts the idea. Maybe then we go back. Maybe then we go to, okay, well, let's protect this more this next time or whatever. But for starters, we just thought we'll take it. A few seedlings, some bags of soil, throw together 3 like little raised bed things. And we were like, it'll be a good project and something to have them continue to go out, water the plants, and so.
You think they're gonna water the plants with a yard full of praying mantises?
Yeah, that's my daughter's like. Every time she goes outside, she's like, "Can I please?" It's like we have to tell her, "No, we did that earlier." It's like we get it.
What does she want to do?
She wants to water the plants all the
Oh,
time.
sure.
She loves going around doing it, but we're like, "Well, you did it like an hour ago, so we can't do it anymore. We're done with it for today." But I want to.
So she was furious when it rained.
They're
the
never
other day.
gonna. Yeah, they're never gonna come out of the ground if they're drowning. That's not gonna happen.
They floated away already.
You just floated away. We just watered them away.
Sure.
So, but it's fun. It's a fun project. Springtime, something to do with the kids.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. We'll see if we get anything.
There you have it. And let's move on to the dumb dad moments,
Okay. Yeah.
shall we?
Oh yeah. What do you
All
got
right.
for me, pal? What did you do in the world of doing something stupid as a dad?
Well, it's kind of just a rollover from last week's dumb dad moment.
Oh.
It's brought to you by baseball.
Okay.
So Saturday,
Curse you, baseball.
my daughter had a game Friday night at 7.
Uh-huh.
Makes a little bit more sense, but we still had to bring, the sibling. But he was just enjoy the iPad.
Yeah.
We're watching the game.
Like you said, at 5. He had a game at 7:30 at 5 years old.
Yeah. They got hosed, and it was great. It was great though. It was.
Let me
like,
ask you a really quick
so
question.
I talked about
Really quickly,
What?
because I know our kids are both in rec league, like coach pitch. Are they just doing 2 innings? Is that how they're doing it?
no. It's 5 innings or an hour 10, whichever comes first.
How are they getting through 5 innings?
We're not. We're usually calling it by an hour 10, but it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
We have a mercy rule at 6 runs.
Okay.
So you do 6 runs and you switch, or 3 outs.
So if it's 3 up, 3 down, it's like, guess we're not hitting anymore.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's cool though, because the kids don't get too bummed about it. Because, all right, so the first game, that did happen where we got 3 outs, but we got a significant number of runs, like every single inning.
Yeah.
This game, we got
because nobody can catch.
This coach was exactly what I was kind of complaining about on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Where I didn't care for the coach in the last game, just kind of yelling at the kids,
Yeah.
and in a way that I was like, I don't like this. I think he's going to make some of these kids
A little too
not want to
competitive.
do this too much. Yeah, it's just like, it seems like it's like, I understand you correcting mistakes, but you're doing it in a way that's embarrassing and mean, whatever.
Yeah.
This guy was also yelling at his players, but you could tell there was love behind it, he was also encouraging them. He was nice to everyone. He was nice to our team. He was nice to his kids. But some of these kids have played before, and this coach was wild. He was rotating players based on the batter. So he was like, all right, Evan, now you take shortstop. James, you go to second. In the moment. And these kids are just running, shifting positions, moving them around based on the batter.
Based on who was up to bat for you guys.
Yeah. And then it was ridiculous. But their first baseman and their pitcher were insane. They got us 3 up, 3 down a couple times.
See, the reason I asked is we had my son's first game, and they just did everyone hits.
So that's
and then you switch.
That's my son.
Yeah.
My son's T-ball.
It's that still makes sense to me. Yeah, sure. There's how many? I don't think that there was 3 outs were going in, but it also might have just been there's no way you're getting 3 outs. The ball's flying all over the place. No one catches it. It's just everywhere.
Yeah. So cut to the next day, Saturday. Now it's supposed to rain all day. Everyone knows it's supposed to rain. The clouds look sad, and it's cold outside.
We had opening day was Saturday. It got canceled. We didn't have opening day.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So we had picture day. So we went to the rec center. Everybody's dressed up. I see the head of the league, and I was like, "Hey, Bruce, is the game? Is the T-ball game still on at whatever it was 2:30?" And he was like, "Game's still on, man. We're doing it." And I was like, "Oh, great! What a terrible idea." So his first game is 7:30. His second game is just going to be cold and potentially wet.
A downpour.
So, as I've said
how does he like baseball so far? Loves it.
That's my thing. I want to cultivate a love of the sport.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing a good job. So, because I don't want him to it's just T-ball. None of this matters. I want you to just learn some skills.
Yeah.
Get some skills, which my son's definitely picking up on. My daughter's definitely picking up on, but my son, we'll talk about him for a minute. And I want him to enjoy the game. I want him to think it's fun. Luckily, he's a happy kid, so it is kind of going that way. But we take the pictures. Now, once again, because me and the coach of my son's team, who also coaches my daughter's team, he has a kid on my son's team, and he has this other kid on my daughter's team. Mm-hmm. The only other person like that is me, who's on both teams.
Right.
He's on both teams. He has kids on both teams. I have kids on both teams. So because of that, they made me the coach of both teams when needed. So I was
he's not there.
When he's not there. He wasn't there Saturday. He told me he wasn't going to be there. So now I'm the coach.
In the photos.
I was the coach in the photos. Yeah.
I
spilled my beer. I was the
Wait, so double check this.
I was the coach in the photos, which was already Dumb Dad Moment 1, which is really funny. I guess it was a text thread that my wife is on that I'm not on, which is already why aren't I on this text thread? But okay. I didn't know it existed because I wish I did, because I was really embarrassed because we went to take photos, and then I was told when I did my daughter's photos earlier, they're like, "We don't want parents here. We just want coaches. This is a small building. Can you have them wait in the waiting area?" And I was like, "Sure." So now I'm ushering parents out. I was like, "Hey, can you go wait over there?" And they were like, "Who the fuck are you, man?" It wasn't a good look, but apparently the coach did text, the coach's wife texted, Kevin's going to be the coach for the day on Saturday, just so everybody knows. So I didn't know that. I felt so uncomfortable telling his parents, "You go wait over here. I'm going to stay here and take a picture with my kids."
Yeah. Oh my God.
So anyway, we take the photo. We take the photos. We still have a game, but because the photos are an hour, the photos were an hour and a half before the game, so we can't go home. So it was just all right, let's play on the playground for a bit. So they played on the playground. They're having fun, but it's definitely a little cold. They're not complaining yet, but that's all I'm thinking about is it's cold. And then it starts to like lightly like drizzle, sprinkle, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking over at the field. They're still playing. And I'm like, now, if I wasn't a pick me dad, people pleaser,
Yeah.
I would have just taken him home. I would have just not gone to the game. But
Right.
I'm the coach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't bail on the
No,
game.
you can't do that.
So I tell my son, I was like, all right, buddy, it's time to go play the game. And like, you know, my nephew who were playing on the playground, they're like, we're playing baseball. It's raining. And I go, let's get our cleats
That's how
on.
you do it.
You're definitely going to need those cleats. Let's get
Oh,
those on.
Oh, my gosh.
So we are playing, start the game. The guy on that team was really nice. They played the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
They had a DJ again.
The Cubbies.
They were announcing every batter.
The DJ.
They had a DJ. They bring their own DJ. We bring snacks for ourselves. That's it. We are both teams just have so much heart. We're just there for the love of the game. We don't have, some of these people are
Yeah,
just,
for the love of the game.
they just know what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
So the game starts and they go up to bat first. Everybody gets the bat once, like you said, and then we switch. Now everyone is like soaking wet. Like everyone is soaking wet. My son goes to bat and he's wearing his winter puffy jacket, just batting. Like he's just playing in his jacket. And I'm not going to take it off. I'm like, yeah, no, we're good, man. Let's just keep it on. Let's keep it on. T-ball and just like run. Everybody's just slipping in the mud and it was just absolute chaos. And I was like, I just want to go. And then like a parent walked up to me and he goes, Coach, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
He was like my only helper on the field.
Yeah.
He had his like twin boys with him. He goes, hey man, I'm out of here. This is nuts. And I was like, yeah, all right, man, I'll see you later. My wife went to third base. I took first base, like coach. And they did call it at the end of that inning. I will say that.
Yeah.
But we were like,
But to still do it, like,
to still do it was such a bad idea, such a bad call.
with nothing but rain on the forecast. That's what I don't get. It's like,
We
was
knew it was
always
going to rain
coming.
at 3. It
Yeah.
said like at 3, you definitely get
We
rain.
knew that 3 days before, which is why
Yeah.
our opening day ceremonies got canceled.
It should have been canceled. Like it was one of those moments where I saw the head of the league and I said to him, hey man, we're still playing today? And he was like,
Yeah.
Yep. And I went, that wasn't the answer I thought you were going to give.
Yeah, didn't you hear the joyful, jokey tone in my voice? That's called sarcasm.
It was a wild experience. My son couldn't swing as well wearing a winter jacket.
Interesting.
But to his credit,
range of motion, you might
it was a dumb dad moment in that like I couldn't leave the game because I'd volunteered to do this. But it was salvaged by the fact that my son sometimes just has the best attitude, and he kept hitting the tee with his bat because he's just in this puffy like Christmas Story situation. But it's also like puffy, so now it's like got 5 pounds of water in it. So he just keeps like hitting the tee and the ball just falls down
And
off
then,
of it.
Watery air bubbles come to the surface of the jacket.
I just kind of like wringed him out. I took the jacket and I threw it. I took it out of his jacket off and threw it against the wall and it made a perfect jacket imprint of water.
Because it weighed 300 pounds of water.
So he kept knocking off the tee, and to his credit, he laughed every single time.
That's great.
So
He
luckily,
doesn't even know he should be frustrated by it.
he was not frustrated, and I was like, I'm laughing with him. The ball is just getting increasingly more and more muddy.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
It's just falling in a clump of
now
mud.
it's a coconut.
Yeah. Which is not helping the distance. So, that was my dumb dad moment. And luckily, because kids are kids, a lot of times I feel like we put our dumb dad moments on ourselves. I'm gonna cap this off with all dumb parent moments.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of times we put this on ourselves of just like, what a stupid thing I did because of this.
Yeah.
But you always forget like the perspective of kids is very different. Because like to me,
yeah.
I'm like, the kids were miserable. They were cold. That was a real thing. But the second we like ended it and gave all the kids a bag of snacks, they were like, this is the best. We should do this every day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great. I have to say, if hearing it from this perspective now, speaking of perspective, you told me that so we knew ahead of time, like we said, we knew for like a couple days it was going to rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your normal head coach, they would have 2 like games in a row was like, "Hey, I'm not going to be here."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Smart guy.
He's like, I'm going camping.
I'm going
It's not
to
raining where I'm going.
Yeah, it's far away camping. Sunny. Some people call it glamping at home. We're doing it at home.
Yeah.
I'm just hanging
inside.
out. Yeah, I'm going to watch the Masters tournament. That's what I'm going to do. Inside, and you're going to be coaching
He's
in the
just
rain.
cracking open a new Ted Seeger's looking out the window going, hoo-hoo. I bet they're not having fun.
On someone else's rainy day. Crack open a Ted Seeger's.
I will say one thing they do that I appreciate in T-ball, because they let everyone bat and they're little kids. I don't know if your son's league does this because he's a little, but once the last kid bats, they have everyone run them in. So whoever's on base gets to go to second, then third, and then home.
Oh, nice.
Third
No, I
and
don't.
home.
Ours didn't seem to be quite as organized. I'm sure you don't have we don't have an umpire.
We do have an umpire.
You have an umpire? Yeah, we had no
Yeah.
umpire. It was just kind of everyone just.
Yeah, we have 2 guys. We have one who's like the head of the whole league, and then the other guy who was my daughter's coach for the clinic, which is the whole reason we went there and we're not at the place where you guys are because we live so close.
Yeah.
And usually one or both of them are there officiating.
Gotcha. Okay. My dumb dad moment. So here's the thing. I got this egg. Okay. It's got
Are we keeping this in? And I got to sleep here tonight.
Yeah. They took the tires off my car.
Yeah. The good news is, haven't found a spider in the house in weeks.
Yeah. Or in my room, but I'm not allowed in there anymore because the praying mantis took it over.
Because you open the door and there's a praying mantis in your bed with
yeah.
a newspaper and reading glasses on, and just kind of like folds the corner down. Did you need something?
This is definitely something. My dumb dad moment is brought to you by Lawn Care. So moving into the house, it was like, oh, I'm gonna have to get back into it. That was like my chore when I was younger. I was to mow the lawn, and
That's the best job.
it's a pretty good job.
It's not a bad job.
It's a pretty good job.
Hey,
No,
garbage.
and then it was like that helped pay for me to go play golf. It was like part of my allowance, like paid so that I could go play golf. It was like mow the lawn, keep the lawn mowed, or whatever. You could play golf on the weekends. Like my dad would take me. Just a quick shout out to Scotty Scheffler for winning the Masters again. He's won it twice now, but his dad was a stay-at-home dad,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Thanks for listening, by the way,
you two
Scotty.
yeah, exactly.
And not going over to Dax.
He's about to be a dad. That's the thing too. His dad was a stay-at-home dad, and now he's like his wife didn't even go to the tournament because she's like about to have their child.
So he's gonna quit golf and be a stay-at-home
He's
dad.
gonna quit golf, yeah. He did say somebody asked him if his dad asked his dad, like he said all he wanted to do was raise like nice, well-rounded children. Somebody said like, how good do you think your son really is? And he said, I guess I don't really know how good he's at golf, but I can tell you, however good he is at golf, he's a better person. And then I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good quote out of dad.
Sure.
So my dumb dad moment is getting excited about the lawn. That's kind of the idea. Is
Yeah.
like before you know it, it's like, okay, just got to go get a mower. Our lawn isn't huge, and when I would say it's probably arguably about the same when I was like in high school, the house we lived in, and my dad when I was younger had a much bigger yard, had a gas mower and everything, and when we had moved, we bought just like a push mower, like the blades, turning blades, right? Total manual mower.
All mowers blades turn.
Yeah. I guess it's like a coffee grinder it just shaves your lawn. It's a lawn shaver.
That's a lawnmower.
For when
It's called a mower.
instead of a helicopter
It's not a
blade,
shaver.
this thing rotates like a hamster wheel. I don't know. It's a manual.
Like a pencil sharpener.
There it is.
It's the lawn sharpener.
It's a lawn sharpener.
There you go.
And so I thought, I'm going to do that. I think I'll just do that. Maintain it. Just do it more often. But as long as we keep up with it, then I know that the grass falling back down onto the lawn is good for the lawn. Like, that'll be great. Just do that. Keep it simple. And then it was like, it's grown a little on the side here. I'd like to keep that under control so it doesn't like creep into the driveway and everything. You know,
Okay.
maybe I should go get a weed whacker. I should be able to do that. A weed whacker and a lawnmower. Be able to take control of the lawn and have it look nice with do the edge, mow the lawn. It'll be all right. cut to a week later, and it's like, I could use a rake. I think I need a rake.
A rake.
A rake. There's like leaves falling all over the place and everything. I'm like, I think take not too big of a deal to go get a rake, and it could clean that up a little bit. And it's like, then about a week later, my wife and I realized the driveway on one side is lined by a hedge, which is fine. But when we moved there, it was like nice and neat. Now it's like getting a little closer to the driveway. So it's like, I think I need a hedge trimmer. And it so quickly went from, I'm going to go get a mower so I can just mow, like even just push mower. Keep it simple. Push mower, then we're done, To where it's like, now we have like, where are we going to put all these gardening tools?
That's a dumb dad moment.
I know.
Because
I know. And now I'm thinking like, now my lawn is like, all right, now I got to take care of this thing.
you cultivate relationships, Evan.
Yeah.
I have a gigantic ladder. My brother borrows that. He has a hedge trimmer. I borrow that. You don't need all them. That's the dumb moment. You don't need all that stuff. Borrow from your friends.
Well, you come to my house again. I got like a whole shop, apparently.
I mean, I have a system, but when you get something new and good that I don't have, I mean...
You posted the other day your weed puller thing. The granddaddy's...
Grandpa's weeder.
Why is it Grandpa's weeder? I don't probably sometimes have to bend down. Is that why?
Yeah.
Just stand on it.
The whole point of it is save your back.
Yeah, see. Wow.
It
We're
works.
past that. We're past that.
It works.
Yeah.
I got a lot of responses on that story post that I made.
It's funny.
Should have probably put an affiliate link. We could have made $800.
As soon as you posted it, I saw that and I was like, it worked so well. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to order that thing.
Yeah, that one you can't borrow. I'm not giving that to you.
It's fine.
Listen,
It's fine. But I didn't.
that's the book that I can't let you have because I won't get it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind it necessarily. My wife and I thought it was so funny how so quickly it went from like, we'll do that to where, and then we're like, now we have a garden in the back, like all that stuff too. Add all that to the pile. Like
garden
we go to the hardware store. It's like, I need a rake. Look at the rake. Like wandering around, looking at the plants in the back. Like it'd be nice to plant some stuff in the planters that we brought over from the old place. Be kind of cool too to have some like upright ones. We could plant some veggies with the kids. Like, yeah, that would be nice. So, just thinking. And the more next thing you know, you're buying stuff at the hardware store. By the time you come home, you already got an Amazon cart full of stuff. It's like
hundreds of dollars.
It's a slippery
in the hole.
slope.
Borrow
in the hole.
Not
but
the
we have
gardening
a
stuff. You
squirrel
need your
that
own
eats at
gardening
a
stuff.
picnic table. I mean,
Yeah, Thanksgiving's gonna be wild.
charge an admission fee.
He's gonna bring a lot of friends over.
So there you go. That's my dumb dad moment. We'll update it, and my lawn probably still won't look all that great because I don't know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I got all the stuff. I use it, but
We have my wife and I, we just maintain the front yard. It's all weeds.
yeah,
It is literally the front yard's all weeds because we eventually want to turn it into a drought tolerant front yard.
yeah.
So for people who don't know what that is, it's literally like you basically just do like dirt or rocks, and then you have like super drought friendly succulents or other plants.
Basically, they survive on like the moisture in the soil, basically.
Yeah. You put in a drip system, so when you're watering them in the really hot times of the summer and stuff, it's just very little water. Anyway, so we're just maintaining weeds, and it's so funny because whenever we're out there and like I'm using the weed whacker or whatever, I'll see like the neighbor across the street's got like a service,
Yeah,
and they will watch us,
I bet.
and I bet they're watching, going, should we go over there and give them our card?
It feels like it'd be so embarrassing to do it in front of them, like while they're doing it.
But they are mowing weeds. What exactly would we be maintaining?
Cleaning a garbage can.
But listen, when you mow weeds,
yeah,
then you have a green lawn for like 3 days until the weeds come
until they come
incredibly back.
I mean,
Like a
it's
time lapse.
Wild. It's wild how, I mean, you get it, like how they say kids grow like weeds, because it's like there weren't weeds and now they're like weeds that are like, I'm here now. You're gonna need a shovel.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. It is what it is.
What are you gonna do? You're just gonna mow the weeds.
Well, I think that's a place to leave it. If you guys have some...
Wait, I thought of one more.
Oh, okay.
When you're sick and tired of hiding it in a brown paper bag in the bleachers at your kid's T-ball game,
There you go.
bring it Ted Seegers.
There you go. There you go. If you guys have some maybe new space, not necessarily backyard, but new space purchasing fails, Maybe when you got kids, you bought too many. When you got kids, you started buying too many
It's about getting a little
gizmos
over
and
it.
gadgets, and you go, oh well, we should have this. We should have this kind of, what is it, hanging from the door frame bouncy chair, and then we should get these kind of fence doors and whatever.
It's about getting a little too excited about a hobby, and then wondering if I've overcommitted to it.
Wow, parenting's not a hobby, Evan, for some of us.
Well, the yard.
Wow. Wow.
Some would consider
breaking
it a
news
lifestyle.
here on the Dumb Dad podcast. But also, if you've made some terrible mistakes trying to be a people pleaser, then let us know. Write in
Yeah.
your dumb parenting moments. dumbdadpod@gmail.com. You can DM us on Instagram as well. We are at the Dumb Dads. We're going to record another mailbag very soon. I think we have enough to do another one.
Do we? Let's do it.
I think we definitely will do it. And yes, thanks to Everdo and SoundCloud for the music for this podcast. Thanks as always to my incredible wife and producer of this podcast, Andy, for editing this podcast. Evan, do you have a joke to send us out?
I got one for you. Ready? Here it goes. It goes a little something like this. Why is a flower like the letter A?
Why is a flower like the letter A?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because it's always followed by a B.
Oh.
Unless there's a praying mantis in the house. In which case you better watch your back.
Okay.
Mating season. I'm leaving. Bye.
For the bugs. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?